It's getting late and I'm finally having some mental clarity. Mental clarity honestly really only comes to me once the sun is down. That is so fun and so lovely. Welcome to the Late Night Corner. I am Claire, your host, and it is currently 10:31 p.m. So it's getting late. It's not atrociously late, but it's getting there. Since my last creative projects update, I've actually gotten quite a lot done. I honestly surprised myself, and especially given the fact that I am still in school for art. Um, that being said, most of the projects I have finished have been class projects. um, I find that it's a lot easier to get things done when I have deadlines. In class the other day, I was talking about how having set expectations for a creative process and a project really helps my fluttery mind ground and actually start and complete a project. I am kind of notorious for starting things and not finishing them. When it comes to art, I have really bad perfectionism and anxiety around, like, if I'm going to get this done, it has to be absolutely perfect, and the process has to be perfect as well. I really don't let myself be messy or not already have a polished project during the process. I don't know. It's kind of anxious for sure, but I feel like I've been learning some pretty helpful tools and methods of art practice where I'm able to let go of like the strong grip that I have on perfectionism, and that thinking that every part of the process needs to be fast, productive, and perfect in all ways. Um, that being said, I would love to recap the things that I did get done and reflect on what I wanted to get done last time I did an update video. So, I honestly don't have any notes written for this video because it was like really, I'm on a whim right now. I'm on a whim, feeling a bit whimsical, sharing this information. Um, so I'm just gonna go in my notes app and see. So last video, I said that I wanted to go on more daily walks. Update. I have been going on less daily walks than previously before. I've been experiencing some pretty, pretty frustrating chronic health setbacks and flare-ups. So I've been walking less, especially like this past month. But I just started walking again more. So there's that. The second thing that I really wanted to do for my last update video was learn to illustrate on paper and iPad. I have not gotten to that. I have not done that. I have gotten a little bit better at letting myself make really rough sketches of things and be okay with it not looking perfect, especially when making storyboards. Then I wanted to sketch up a working portfolio concept. Okay, here's the one thing that I really followed through on, and I ended up getting done earlier than I had initially planned for, which is making a portfolio. And I had no idea what a portfolio was, what it's supposed to do, what I'm supposed to include, how much should I include, is it a website, is it a deck? I honestly had no clue until I decided to ask my professors. And turns out that asking your professors for advice on these kinds of things actually helps. Um, I usually get shy to ask for help and ask questions in class, but I've been trying to get a lot better at it. So I was able to put together some of my like most practical portfolio wise school projects that I have done and look through them, see which ones worked really well, and then spruced some of them up a little bit more. And I got really excited about this brand guidelines project for Lingua Grata, a company that my sister and I are working on. I had so much fun designing it, the logo, the just the brand values and guidelines, what I wanted it to look like, marketing language. Like I really zoned in on that. And I created my own handwritten font, which was really fun. And I did technically learn how to draw on my iPad in order to do that. So, you know, take that off the list of the things that I wanted to get around to doing. Yeah, and I was just really, really proud of that project, and it really excited me that I had that idea. I don't know. I think I have a tendency to come up with some pretty cool ideas and immediately think to myself like, "Oh, that could be a business idea." And I feel like I've had a lot of moments like that even when I was a kid. Like when I was younger, I was also quite into arts and crafts and doing things and YouTube channels and making videos and coming up with little business ideas even as a kid. Like I was a tiny entrepreneur. Did it go anywhere? No. Did I get experience from it? Honestly, kind of yes. But anyway, ever since then, going from like Littlest Pet Shop and pull-up dolls and rement YouTube videos and little business ideas with my siblings, I tend to look at ideas as business, as business opportunities. And so yeah, so lingua grata is one of those things that I would love to turn into a business opportunity. Especially because I poured so much hard work into that. So it would be really fun and rewarding to work on that in the near future once I have more time. Also, I'm like halfway through my spring term, so it'll be summer soon, and I'll have a little bit more time to work on creative projects like that. So that is very exciting to me. Um, anyway, that was a long tangent. So, yes, I did do the portfolio. As far as a music photo shoot, working on music, making a music video, I sort of got there like partially. Um, I had a school assignment where I was supposed to make a compelling video. Actually, I posted it on YouTube. Scrapbooking Sucks is a short film that I made for class talking about my personal and emotional experiences and thoughts on the joys and the overwhelming and stressful feelings of creating, wanting to create, collecting to create, and not really having enough time to getting around to it. Um, I think my written explanation in the video description was a lot clearer than my ability to explain it right now. Anyway, I the like funny thing is that in making that short film, talking about how difficult sometimes it can be to get around to starting and finishing art projects that I put on the back burner, is that I ended up getting to certain art projects and ideas that I've been wanting to complete for a long time. And that was, create a fully fleshed out video, and not just a YouTube video, but a short film. Like I made storyboards for it. It was honestly giving me like practice and experience for making a music video. And I wrote a script for it. I learned how to edit the video. I learned about different types of dynamic shots for filming, and I also got around to making music. It's technically not the kind of music that I thought I would be getting around to, but I made some pretty cool music sound effects that react to the emotions of the script and the voiceover and the visuals of Scrapbooking Sucks. I started it and I completed it and I posted it. So in a way, it's not the type of music video that I thought I would be creating, but I think it still counts. And so I'm just really proud of myself for finishing it. Even though I don't think that it's the most perfect video in the whole world, I'm happy with the effort that I put in, and I thought it was a pretty nice outcome. So, yeah. I think it's really funny how things end up, especially in terms of having like placing expectations on yourself for the things that you want to create versus the things that you do, and when you get around to them, like I thought I would make a whole music video, and in a way I did, and I got around to it. Sometimes it expectations are expectations can set really solid guidelines for where we see ourselves, but versus how it actually comes out. I mean, it's just really interesting to me. Okay, so fun experiences that have happened since my last formal update. Um, I went to a concert with some friends. I finally got to see Sarah Kinsley live, and I had so much fun. It was an amazing concert experience. Sarah is just I'm just such an inspirational artist for me, in terms of like music and visuals and just the whole vibe. Love it so much. So that was definitely a highlight. I guess the other big thing is that I've been taking an intro to typography class and design principles this term, and there's an assignment that we had to do to compile a bunch of different graphic design and like specifically type examples of different design principles and compile them all into one like booklet zine thing. And so I was able to look at some design books from like different time periods. Honestly, some of my favorite designs are from the 90s and the 60s. And I was just taking a bunch of photos of all of these cool designs, and honestly, I think I see a lot of overlap with some like 90s, a little bit of 60s, like text and subjects of photos and like colors and overall aesthetic qualities, I feel like currently are quite popular within design and art and photography and type and stuff. So that was pretty cool seeing it, you know, I guess people call it like trend cycles. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but it was a full circle moment is what I'm trying to say. And lastly, I had my first experience with a letra set. And I asked some family members if they have used a letra set before, and they're like, no, what's a letra set? I've never heard of that. And as soon as I started explaining what it was, that it's like this vinyl thing that you put on a paper and you kind of like scratch it onto the paper and then it's kind of like a sticker. They're like, oh, I've used that so many times in the past. Like, I used that when I was younger. It was one of my favorite things to do, but nobody remembered, or I guess even knew, that it was called a letra set. And so I had a lot of fun playing around with that. I'm I'm like finding myself inclined to searching eBay and looking up some letra sets to include in some of my scrapbooking work. Um, the fonts are just so cool. You know, I really didn't have that much appreciation for some fonts like, I don't know, Helvetica, Times New Roman. I honestly didn't have that much appreciation for them until like experiencing working with them in Letraset and like hand setting type. I guess just seeing those fonts everywhere, they just felt really normal, bland, maybe even a bit boring. I see them everywhere, kind of just like a boring computer font to me at that point, but a completely different experience, like using your hands to typeset them and looking at them really closely with your eyes and being able to hold and touch it versus, you know, typing it or looking at it on a screen. So I have a new appreciation for, honestly, Helvetica more than Times New Roman. Um, but yeah. So those are my late night thoughts. It is almost 11. Um, yeah. Thanks for listening, tuning in, and joining me on my late night thoughts. Okay. Till next time. Bye.